I studied with Rudy Durania, and he gave me a few tips from his books put out by Watson Guptill, and I actually corresponded with him. And this was the first thing he showed me in his class. It was called the simple wash with one color. Don't get confused with a bunch of colors, right? So the way to get unconfused with colors is to take one color, such as Thalocene, but he would mix them individually to start with. One would be light, one would be medium, and one would be darker. If you just keep playing with these, this is what technique is, learning how to distinguish between thick paint and thin paint. Okay, so now we've mixed our paint up, our brush is full of paint, and we can take another piece of paper, put it here, and that's going to be our test paper. Let's just wiggle a little bit of color on there. Let's put it on here and just wiggle a little color on. See the brush? I wiggled some color on. Clean my brush off. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just using the brush and putting color on. Here's the next color. I'm going to wiggle it right in. It's a little darker. Not much, but it is a little darker. If I don't take the water out of the brush, it influences the next color. Okay, let's take this color now without all that water on the brush, and we'll see if it's dark. Oh, this is not working. It's the same. Why is it the same? I used too much water, and I used too big a brush to start with. In the beginning, you might want to keep your brush size down a bit, say to this size. And let's try that experiment again. Take the blue, put it in. Managing the thickness of your paints in watercolors is absolutely the first thing you want to learn. So here, I put a little water in here. Now I could use the big brush for this. This is the light blue, and I make 3 puddles, all with the same amount of water. Pretty much. Put my brush down. Now I take my Thalocene, full strength, and I mix it in here until it's all gone from the brush, as much as I can get out. We're going to mix a dark, and then a medium. Now because I've come into here and not taken anymore, it's going to be a little lighter. And here we have our light. Dark, medium, light. Okay, let's see if that works. Light. Clean the brush. One of the major techniques in watercolor painting we're going to use through this class. Clean the brush, dry the brush. Take the medium now. Oh yeah, that's a little, that's not bad. I could make this a little lighter, I think. Clean the brush. And now I'll take the dark. It should be darker than this one. Oh, it is. Very good. So we're getting a dark, medium, light. It's not quite, so we're going to add a little more clean water to the light, maybe 3. And now I have, yeah, that's light. Now you'll notice the drips. You must pick up the drips with a thirsty brush. Otherwise you get a big line there. Pick up the drips, even on the light one. So you always have a rag in your hand when you're doing watercolors. There we go. Meet dark, medium, light. Well, now I can get my big brush. I'm on my way. Oh, I just remembered. I'm a little nervous. Maybe I'll make a mistake. Put that myth to rest. Let it blow up on its own somewhere else. It doesn't belong to you. You're not going to make a mistake. You're going to be become a creative person. You're going to be creating. So I'm going to take the light and just not even going to tilt the board, nothing like that. I'm just going to go over the bottom. And I'll have another brush handy. Pick that little drip up. Then I'm going to go around the clouds up in the sky with the light. I'm going to take a little bit more and just touch it like that. Tap. See what happens. There. Because the paper is wet, I can go like that. Take some water. Clouds are soft. Come from this angle and just soften a few of the edges. Oh, there's what we call a happy accident. So now I'm going to take the medium paint, but this time I'm going to load my brush and I'm going to just touch it to the rag so it doesn't get all drippy. Oh, you see? See the drip? Still got too drippy. Touch it. Now I'm going to just stroke gently, just like the pencil. But I can see I got to get lighter. So what do? Clean the brush off, touch the rag, and go lighter. I'll go right to the end. Then I'll take a little bit of the medium again, and I'll do another little coat in here, make sure it's right, and start it here. Oh, there's a little bit of rain coming there, so there we go. Oh, we'll better put this on an angle, so the rain's probably falling on an angle. Oh, how do I know that? Well, because I look at my drawing. Now this edge is a little bit hard. How do I know that? Well, because misty, rainy things from observing and sketching in my book often creates soft edges. Okay, now I take my light and I put a little bit here in the bottom of the cloud, clean my brush, and now I'm using the same technique over and over. Let's go over this technique. You put your brush in the water, you clean it, take a little teeny bit of the light paint, put it on the dry paper so it doesn't spread all over the place. Wet your brush, dry your brush, soften the edges. Let's try it for here. We'll put the brush in the water, clean the brush, put the brush into the light, and put a little bit of paint on the faraway mountain. And you know, I'm just going to let it sit there. I'm not going to do anything to it. I'm just going to let it kind of sit there like that. Ooh, I like this big bright cloud here. Now this paint is wet, so I can add a drop to it and make it just a little darker. This is wet and this is wet. If I touch this, I know from experience it's going to bleed into here. But I'm confident enough now to realize this paper's probably getting a little drier. Let's see what happens when I do that. I'm okay. And we'll put a little bit in here too. That I'm not too keen on. So I'm going to spread that out a bit. And I don't like the way it goes up there. So I'm going to bring that right up into the cloud. Oh, there we go. That cloud's really, I'm going to take some medium paint now and darken this a little. Hey, I've only used one color so far, plus the pencil. Soften, clean the brush, tap the brush. I might lose you in a minute because I'll be going into the zone and forget I'm actually talking to you. So, swipe. That's called a stroke. I'm going to take some medium. Notice I haven't used any dark yet. Stroke. Breathe. Breathe through the stroke. I'm going to take a medium. Paper's still a little wet. See? One at the bottom. Take a little dark and touch it. See the dark? Very dark. things are closer, like this part of the little island or whatever it is, things are darker. Now I'm going to go this way. That's called a flick. Did you see that? Just let it go. Watch the fingers and the thumb. Thumb stays steady. That bottom finger here pushes the brush up. I'll try one more for you, right here. There we go. I don't even have to go any farther. I can let that dry. I think that's a great little exercise to show you how to take a sketch, bring it home, relate to it, and you can use the word translate it. You know, you're translating nature, you're not copying it. You're a translator. What is important out there to bring home and then to express it here and be creative. With one color, one pencil, one piece of paper, one technique. Mix 3 paints, dark, medium, light. Get 3 brushes, big, medium, small. Put your paint on, light first, medium second, dark at the end. And you know what? It's just absolutely wonderful how you can succeed with that little trick right there. Okay, here's our little project with just the one color, blue. And here's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to take a little bit of yellow, just a spot, and I'm going to go over this with a little bit of yellow. Picking it up gently. This is done with phthalo, so it's not going to run. A little bit in here, and just warming it up. Warming up your picture. Very important. There's that background. And just warm it up. Now that we've done what we needed to do right here, I'm going to now show you in the next section what we can do using some different mediums to enhance this picture and bring it more into a place where we appreciate it more and you feel better about what you've done. This is basically just an introduction to a painting. You can take this painting even further.